This is not a drink. This is craft, steeped cold, evolved.
I'm gonna add some bottom so that the dancers they just won't hide.
You might like to hear on the organ. I said a right, Sally, right. Dance to the music. Dance to the music. Hey, hey, dance to the music. Dance to the music.
On a cloudy day, oh, when it's cold outside, I got the mother man. Well, I guess you'd say, what can make me feel this way, my girl? Talking about my girl, my girl. Hey, hey,
It's a good job in the city, working for the man every night and day. Then I never lost a minute of sleep. Worried about the way that things happen. Oh, just keep on turning, trying, keep on burning. We keep rolling, rolling, rolling down the river. We keep rolling, rolling, rolling down the river.
I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric wavy when I turn it on. Off from my city, off from my home. We flying up no ceiling when we're in our zone. Cause I got a sunshine in my pocket. I got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body. Then it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes up off it. Moving so phenomenally. Come on like the way we rock it. So don't stop. Under the lights and everything goes. Nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When we move, while you already know. So just imagine. Just imagine. Just imagine. my pocket. I got that good song in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body. Then it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off it. I'm moving so phenomenally. One like the way we like it. So don't stop. Under the lights and everything goes. Nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When we move, what I'm saying, so just imagine.
Just imagine.
You dance, dance, dance. Feeling good creeping up on you, so just dance, dance, dance. Come on, all those things I'll shift into, but you dance, dance, dance. Ain't nobody leaving, so keep dancing. So just dance, dance, dance. So just dance, dance, dance. So just dance, dance, dance. So just dance, 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 girl. I can't stop it. I can't stop it. I can't stop it.
Can't stop the feeling.
I can see what you when you dance, dance, dance. Feeling it creeping up on you, so just dance, dance, dance. Come on, all those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. Ain't nobody leaving, so I'll keep a dancing. Oh, nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feeling it creeping up on you, so just dance, dance, dance. Come on, all those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. Ain't nobody leaving, so you keep dancing. Got this feeling in my body. I can't stop. Got this feeling in my body. Got this feeling on your body. Got this feeling in my body. Break it down. Got this feeling in my body. Hey, I can't stop the feeling. Got this feeling in my body. Oh, oh. Got this feeling in my body. Got this feeling in my body.
Do you remember the 21st night of September? Love was changing the minds of pretenders while chasing the clouds away. Our hearts were ringing in the key that our souls were singing as we danced in the night. Remember how the stars stole the night away. Ha ha ha, body, say do you remember? Body, dancing in September. Body, never was a cloudy day. Body, 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 body.
Welcome to Rowan University's 2018 commencement ceremonies. The processional is ready to begin. Please silence all cell phones and please remain seated during the processional so everyone can see. Also, if you have an umbrella, please move to the perimeter of the area so you do not obstruct the view of others nearby. Thank you.
Music is a world within itself, in a language we all understand, with an equal opportunity for all to sing and dance, clap their hands. But just because the record has a groove, don't make it in the groove. But you can tell right away at letter A when the people start to move. They can feel it all over. They can feel it all over the people. They can feel it all over. They can feel it all over the people. There's Macy Miller, Satchmo, and the King of all Duke. And with a voice like Ella's ringing out, there's no way the band goes on. They can feel it all over. They can feel it all over. They can feel it all over. They can feel it all Looking back on when I was a little nappy-headed boy, then my only worry was for Christmas what would be my toy. Even though sometimes I would not get a thing, we were happy with the joy the day would bring. Sneaking out the back door to hang out with those hoodlum friends of mine. Greeted at the back door, but though I thought I told you not to go outside. Trying your best to bring the water to your eyes. Thinking you might stop her from waking you up behind. They could come back small while it's the day. But how you go? I wish I stayed. Could come back small while it's the day. But how you go? I love that Brother says he's telling about you playing doctor with that girl. I just don't tell him I'll give you anything you want in this whole wide world. Mama gives you money for Sunday school. You treat us for candy after church is through. Smoking cigarettes and writing something nasty on the wall.
You nasty
A teacher sends you to the principal's office down the hall. You grow up and learn that kind of thing right. While you're doing it, shove that out of sight. The day could come back small while it's the day. But how you go? I wish I stayed. Could come back small while it's the day. But how you go? I love you so.
very superstitious writings on the wall. Very superstitious, a ladder's about to fall. 13-month-old baby broke the looking glass. 7 years of bad luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for our national anthem. Please be seated. And now, Dr. Monica Williams-Shealy, Dean of Rowan University's College of Education.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the College of Education commencement ceremony. It is my pleasure to introduce our special guests. Please hold your applause until everyone has been introduced. Provost Dr. Jim Newell, Rowan University Board of Trustees, Mr. Robert Posnick, Vice Chair, Dr. Thomas Gallia, Dr. Barbara Chamberlain. Distinguished guests, Dr. Marilyn Gagno, Speaker, Dr. Mark Silverstein, Superintendent of Glassboro Schools, Dr. Barbara Bowl-Williams, Grand Marshal, Dr. Yvonne Rodriguez Gonfalonier, and members of the Cabinet, deans, college advisory boards, faculty, and other senior members of the administration. Thank you for being here. Now we can applaud. Last but not least, there are two very important constituencies that must be recognized as well. Students, please rise and face the people most important in your life. Parents, partners, brothers, sisters, and loved ones who provided support and resources to help bring us to this day, applaud them as you stand here ready to graduate. Secondly, please recognize your Rowan faculty, staff, and administrators who share in your pride and success today. Thank you. Please be seated. Almost 95 years ago, Glassboro Normal School was established to prepare elementary education teachers to meet the needs of schools across South Jersey. Today, we are celebrating Rowan University College of Education graduates who are becoming teachers, counselors, leaders, nurse educators, school psychologists, and higher education professionals. The vision of the College of Education is to prepare and support reflective practitioners who use education to transform our global society. Today's ceremony exemplifies our commitment to living out our vision and mission while celebrating an important milestone for you and your loved ones. Our college, students, staff, faculty, and administrators have been very busy this year. Allow me to share a very small sample of our accomplishments. 2,787 students were enrolled as College of Education students in fall 2017, nearly 1,900 undergraduate students, and more than 900 graduate students. In 2017, 560 educators certified through Rowan, and a large number of these educators are now teaching in South Jersey. Just think, at next year's commencement ceremony, I will talk about how many of you are certified this year. That's right, we can celebrate that. Our year started on a positive note with our College of Education Awards ceremony, where we celebrated 45 College of Education students who were recipients of Rowan Foundation college and department scholarships, as well as sponsors of those scholarships. In addition, we celebrated our 7 Access, Success, and Equity Award recipients, including 1 student, members of our faculty, and our community partners. This was a big year for our EDD program in educational leadership, which, by the way, was the very first doctoral program at our university. This year, the EDD program celebrated its 20th anniversary. In addition, the program was welcomed into the Carnegie Project for the Education Doctorate, a distinguished consortium that promotes excellence for the education doctorate. Today, we will hood almost 40 EDD students. Additionally, the College of Education and our partners in the College of Science and Mathematics received recognition from the Physics Teacher Education Coalition, known as PhysTech, for our outstanding contributions to the education of future physics teachers. This is the 3rd time we've earned this distinction. Housed within our Center for Access, Success, and Equity, our PhD program is now in its 2nd year. It's a multidisciplinary program focused on developing scholars who work to eliminate persistent gaps in education. 11 of our 15 PhD students are Holmes Scholars. The Holmes Scholars program aims to help develop an outstanding pool of diverse candidates for faculty and leadership positions by supporting doctoral students from underrepresented groups. Project Impact, Increasing Male Practitioners and Classroom Teachers, is currently in its 2nd year and 18 members strong. It's a program designed to address the shortage of male teachers of color by supporting men of color as they pursue their degrees in education. We now have a total of 9 professional development schools, or PDSs, in our network. These schools are our laboratories of excellence, and within each one, teachers, staff, and our College of Education faculty and teacher candidates work together to increase student achievement. Some of you have had your very clinical experience in these schools. Our network continues to grow, and I'm happy to say we will welcome at least 3 more schools in the upcoming year. This year, our Office of Clinical Experiences completed 2,462 field placements in our 434 partner schools for 1,459 students. That's a lot of work, right? You, the students in our senior class alone, spent roughly 201,000 hours working out in the field this academic year. That's something to celebrate. I'm happy to say that our students are quite well-rounded. In addition to the excellent work they do in their college courses and in the classrooms of our partner schools, our students are also active on campus. This academic year, more than 425 of our students were involved in our 11 student organizations and honor societies. 42 of our students were recognized as student athletes. For maintaining GPAs of 3.0 or higher, while participating in Rowan University's NCAA athletic programs. From 2017 through this upcoming summer, 32 of our students have traveled internationally to places such as India, Puerto Rico, Guatemala, Canada, and Mexico. For the second year in a row, we have a Fulbright Scholar graduating from the College of Education. This year's scholar, Justine Lorenz, will be heading to Germany to teach English. And our year wrapped up with another celebration of our excellent, dedicated students as we presented 14 students with College of Education medallions. These medallions are awarded to celebrate the outstanding achievements of our graduating students in their disciplines. The medallions are inscribed with the words, that is Latin for Education, Hope of the World. You, our graduates, will be joining the ranks of 38,881 proud alumni of the College of Education. Do you know that's the largest number of alumni at this university? And while our students are quite amazing, the College of Education's 95 full-time and three-quarter faculty members and professional advisors were there every step of the way, committed to the education and success of our students. In 2017, our college received more than $1.2 million in grant funding. This speaks to the caliber of our faculty who are actively engaged in research. Our faculty members have published more than 113 articles, books, and book chapters between 2017 and the first half of 2018. They have also totaled upwards of 110 presentations at national and international conferences this academic year. And this seems like the perfect time to acknowledge two of our faculty members who are retiring after many years of service to our university. I'd like to ask Dr. Richard Fopiano to please stand. After 25 years at Rowan University, Dr. Fopiano will be retiring. He is currently serving as the program coordinator for the Bachelor of Arts in Education with specialization in teacher certification in health and physical education. Dr. Fopiano is a member of the College of Education's Department of STEAM Education. He is also an associate professor in the School of Health Professions. Thank you, Dr. Fopiano. Now, Dr. Bert Sisko, would you please stand? Not only is Dr. Sisko former Dean of the College of Education, he is also a faculty member in the Department of Educational Services and Leadership, and he's retiring in September after 20 years of service. Dr. Sisko is currently the program coordinator for our Master's in Higher Education program. Thank you for your service, Dr. Sisko. This year, our college posed a query: what does a college of education focused on social justice and equity look like? We've engaged in monthly professional development opportunities, book studies, critical small group conversations, large group conversations to deepen our understanding of our values and how they translate to liberatory practices. Graduates, our hope is that during your time in the College of Education, you have engaged in transformative social justice and equity work that will result in positive, equitable educational opportunities for all those you will serve. This is the right time, and you are the right professionals to bring about the renewal so desperately needed in public education. So with that, class of 2018, onward and upward.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Corey Meredith Brown, assistant professor in the Department of Interdisciplinary and Inclusive Education. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Marilyn Gagno, today's commencement speaker. On a day in May of 1965, Dr. Gagno sat very close to where you, our graduates, sit today, as she participated in her own undergraduate commencement ceremony. I wonder if, on that day, she could have ever dreamt that 53 years later, she would be invited here to be our commencement speaker. Dr. Gagno's successful career in the field of education began here as she earned her Bachelor's of Arts in Elementary Education from Glassboro State College. Her undergraduate education provided her with the strong foundation to become a successful educator and educational leader. She went on to earn her master's degree in reading from Kean University and her doctorate in special education from Rutgers University. Dr. Gagno has held positions as an elementary school teacher, a reading specialist, a professor at 2 different universities, the director of a graduate program in special education, and an education program specialist for the New Jersey Department of Education. Among her many accomplishments, Dr. Gagno was appointed to the New Jersey Governor's Task Force on Reading Disabilities. And while at Georgian Court University, Dr. Gagno was a co-founder and director of a program for college students with learning disabilities. To add to her list of many accomplishments, board positions, and accolades Dr. Gagno has earned, I am happy to tell you that she has been selected to receive the 2018 Rowan University Alumni Association Lifetime Service Award. Next month at the Golden Years Breakfast, Dr. Gagno will receive this award in recognition for her dedicated service to Rowan University, the teaching profession, and our community. As you will see in Dr. Gagno's full bio in the commencement program, her dedication to the field of education and her continued commitment to Rowan University is duly evident. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Marilyn Gagno.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. Greetings, honored guests on the platform, parents and grandparents of the graduates, relatives and friends of the graduates, and you, the graduates, the class of 2018. Sit back and relax. I'd like to share a small story with you and my journey. Once upon a time, in a sleepy rural town in southern New Jersey, there was a very good college that had a reputation for shaping excellent teachers. It was Glassboro State College. On one sunny, rather hot day, Glassboro State College was holding its commencement exercise. Much like today, hundreds of people were in attendance on the college green. There was excitement in the air as people readied themselves and mostly looked for their graduate. Well, seated amongst the graduates was one starry-eyed 21-year-old. In her academic robe and wearing a big smile, she was very happy for the day. She craned her neck from side to side, looking for her family. Though she knew they were there, she just couldn't find them, but they were somewhere. They had all driven down together, down the turnpike in her brother's blue Dodge, for her parents did not own a car. So she knew they were there, looking for her, just as she was looking for them. Though her eyes failed to locate them amongst all those gathered, she knew in her heart that they were feeling the same pride and excitement of this moment, just as was she. The music played, the dignitaries were seated, and the graduation ceremony had begun. She took note of the dignitaries on the platform, and she had two thoughts. Number one, who are they? And number two, what did they do that is so important that they are seated here today? She tried to concentrate on the speeches and the proceedings of the afternoon, but found herself reminiscing and rewinding the last 4 years of her life. From time to time, she pinched herself, for everything seemed so surreal. Her recollections took her back further to her childhood, and specifically to her third-grade teacher, who was young, pretty, and energetic. The teacher had a beautiful smile. She listened. She was caring and showed concern. She was respectful and absolutely perfect in every way. It was at that time that our starry-eyed girl knew with all her heart that she wanted to be a teacher. Well, the years passed, and our starry-eyed girl, though not a stellar student, worked very hard and gave it her all. As in the beloved children's story, The Little Engine That Could, which teaches us about optimism and hard work, our starry-eyed girl never wavered from her dream. But deep in her heart, she knew that it wouldn't, it couldn't, it just wasn't meant to be. She felt that in her case, coming from a family of very modest means, where both parents worked very hard in a family, and neither one had graduated from high school, that dreams like hers simply did not come true, no matter how many stars you wished upon and how hard you wished. Well, guess what? For this starry-eyed girl, her dream did come true, and by now you have probably surmised that I am that starry-eyed girl. As Dr. Brown said, 53 years ago, I sat where you today are sitting. It's hard to believe, and at that time, I never thought it would ever happen. Today, I am one of those seated on the dais, and you are those starry-eyed students, perhaps reminiscing about your journey to get here today. Perhaps you, like me, are a first-generation female college graduate in your family. And perhaps you, like me, worked very hard and had a very supportive family system by your side to help you every step of the way. If you are relating to my story, then I hope for you that somewhere in your future, you also will be like the starry-eyed student. I hope that you too will have the drive, the ambition, and the motivation to pursue further study and research, and perhaps go on to earn a doctorate degree. I hope that you too will be dedicated to the field of education and to teaching, and hold various instructional, specialist, and administrative positions, and perhaps even be a college professor and direct a graduate program in a university. I hope that you too will be appointed to boards and elected to offices in your professional organizations, and receive appointments to task forces and committees, as well as receive honors and awards. And perhaps one day, you will be seated on this platform in your fancy academic regalia, making a speech, telling a story of your journey, and wishing some young starry-eyed students all the very best. Do you remember in the story Alice in Wonderland? Alice comes to a fork in the road, and she says, "Which one will I take?" The Cheshire Cat says, "Where do you want to go?" And Alice replied, "I don't know." The cat replied, "Then it doesn't matter." You, however, did know where you wanted to go, and you chose your road. You chose to pursue your dream and to follow your path that leads you here today. In the words of Eleanor Roosevelt, The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Dream your dreams, work for your goals, and value your education. Everything is possible. I extend my very best wishes to all of you, and I hope that you have much success in your future endeavors, whichever road you take and wherever your path leads you. Thank you.
That was a lovely speech, Dr. Ganyo. Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Zeynep Ercan, Associate Dean of Faculty and Student Affairs. This is a wonderful day to be with you and sharing your excitement. This week, we are graduating 46 students who have served our country as members of the military or the National Guard. Many of them served overseas. We recognize the challenges and hardship of going overseas and then transitioning back home to Rowan to complete their education. Will those students who have served in the military or National Guard please stand to be recognized? Thank you for your service to our country. You may be seated. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to recognize the graduates who have excelled in their academic studies while here at Rowan. These students are graduating today with honors and fall into 3 levels of achievement. Students graduating cum laude have achieved a grade point average of 3.45 to 3.64. Will those students who are graduating cum laude please stand to be recognized? Thank you. You may be seated. Students graduating magna cum laude have achieved a grade point average of 3.65 to 3.84. Will those students who are graduating magna cum laude please stand to be recognized? Congratulations. Thank you. You may be seated. Students graduating summa cum laude, the highest honor, have achieved grade point averages of 3.84, 85 through 4.0. Will those students who have achieved this distinction please stand to be recognized? Thank you. You may be seated. Congratulations to all of your achievements. At this time, I would like to recognize the medallion winners, Honors Concentration graduates, and our Honors Society members. They are listed in the program and have been recognized at previous ceremonies. Will all these graduates please stand? All right, we're gonna do that again. I see some hesitation. So medallion winners, Honors Concentration graduates, and our Honors Society members. Will you please stand up again to be recognized? We didn't get all of you. Awesome. Thank you, and congratulations on your achievements. You may be seated.
Before we get to the reading of the names, I ask all of our doctoral, educational specialists, master's, and bachelor students to please stand. That's everybody. Please stand up. So as you know, this past Sunday was our first campus-wide commencement event. By the way, we missed some of you ed specialist folks there. At that campus commencement event, we celebrated Rowan's bachelor's, master's, educational specialist, doctoral, and medical degree candidates. It was during this event that President Hushman, Provost Newell, and Mr. Chad Bruner, chair of the Rowan University Board of Trustees, officially certified our degree candidates as having completed all requirements for graduation. With that, our College of Education graduates were conferred the Doctor of Education, Educational Specialist, Master of Arts, Master of Education, and Bachelor of Arts degrees with all the rights, privileges, responsibilities, and obligations of those degrees. Congratulations to each of you. You may now be seated. It's now time to proceed to the presentation of our graduates. This is what you've all been waiting for, right? Each of our graduates will be called individually by program, beginning with students earning doctoral degrees, and then proceeding with students earning their educational specialist, master's, and bachelor's degrees. For the presentation of graduates, in just a minute, I will turn over the microphone to Dr. Shelley Zion, Executive Director for the Center of Access, Success, and Equity. Dr. Mary Beth Walpole, Professor and Chair of the Educational Services and Leadership Department. And Dr. Beth Wassel, Professor and Chair of the Language, Literacy, and Sociocultural Education Department. Before they begin, though, I would like to ask all family members to remain in your seats so that you will not obstruct the view of others or get in the way of our students. A professional photographer will take 3 photos of our students, one before they cross the stage, another as they shake hands with me, and a third at the bottom of the stage. The students have been given contact information to have the proofs mailed home. So basically, we have it covered. Also, you are welcome to take photos in front of the platform stage at the conclusion of the ceremony. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the reading of the names. We will start with the graduates of the doctoral program in educational leadership led by Dr. Ann Turner Johnson. Each graduate will be awarded a hood and diploma cover. The hood is a symbol of entry into an elite community of scholars. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Shelley Zion, who will read the names of the doctoral candidates. Each dissertation chair will hood each graduate individually.
Kimberly Plotz, An Inquiry into the Development of Future Speech-Language Pathologists, a Mixed Method Study, hooded by Dr. James Coaxum. Sharon Sullivan Rubin, Utilizing the Marriage of Image and Text to Improve Narrative Writing in Urban Elementary School Students, hooded by Dr. James Coaxum. Valerie James Kemp, Superintendents Reclaiming Instructional Leadership, Shared Patterns and Practices, Adelphi Study, hooded by Dr. Gloria Hill. Miriam Began, Educating Invisibly, Immigrant Teachers of Color and Their Sense of Belonging in New Jersey Public Schools, headed by Dr. Ann Johnson. Lori Colburn, Understanding the Experience of Adjunct Nursing Faculty in the Curriculum Development Process, a Qualitative Case Study, headed by Dr. Ann Johnson. Angel? Okay. Angel Hernandez, Determining Job Satisfaction and Motivation of Student Affairs Professionals that Transition into Academic Affairs, headed by Dr. Ann Johnson. Pamela Eve Krieger Cohen, What Career Development Practitioners Share with First-Generation College Students, a Grounded Theory Study of Self-Disclosure in Career Counseling, headed by Dr. Ann Johnson. Neva Lazada, How Supplemental Instruction Leaders Experience Transformative Learning and the Nature of Civic Engagement as a Result of Serving in a Peer Leadership Role in Higher Education, headed by Dr. Ann Johnson. Suzanne Radwan, Professional Learning Outcomes that Teachers Experience as a Result of Implementing Community-Based Instruction Program, a Qualitative Case Study, headed by Dr. Ann Johnson. Vanessa Scott, Fiscal Inequity, a Case Study of Superintendents and Business Managers in Pennsylvania High Poverty Districts, headed by Dr. Ann Johnson. Krista Tamanis Wade, How Cultural Responsiveness Informs the Development of and Decision-Making About K-12 ELA Curricula, a Mixed Methods Approach, headed by Dr. Ann Johnson. We've got Gary Abbott, Strangers in a Strange Land, a Phenomenological Study of ELL Students' Experiences with Anxiety, headed by Dr. Monica Kerrigan. Haley Baum, Exploring Student Use of Social Networking Services Surrounding Moral Development, Gender, Campus Crime, Safety, and the Clary Act, a Mixed Methods Study, headed by Dr. Monica Kerrigan. Lakeisha Carter, Institutional Advancement at Historically Black Community Colleges, a multi-case study, headed by Dr. Monica Kerrigan. William Grillo, Examining STEAM Implementation Through the Lens of Organizational Learning, headed by Dr. Monica Kerrigan. Justin Hull, Exploring the Impact of the Associate Degree on Bachelor's Degree Completion for Reverse Transfer Eligible Students Using Propensity Score Matching, headed by Dr. Monica Kerrigan. Jenny Pamela Marcenero, Academic and Social Adaptation Through a College Success Course, a Case Study of Second Semester Students at a Suburban Community College in Northern New Jersey, headed by Dr. Monica Kerrigan. Anthony J. Trump, The Value of Non-Scholarship Community College Athletics in New Jersey, a Student, Athlete, and Administrator Perspective, headed by Dr. Monica Kerrigan. Marianne Van Dersen, An Examination of the Obstacles that Impact Adult Students' Performance in Workforce Development Medical Assistance Training Programs, a Case Study, headed by Dr. Monica Kerrigan. Got James Altobello, Exploring Educational Leadership in New Jersey, a Case Study of Achieve NJ and Principal Practice in a Public School Setting, headed by Dr. Joanne Manning. Got Mary Catherine Donaldson Clark, A Case Study of Community College Faculty Attitudes Towards Students with Disabilities, headed by Dr. Joanne Manning. Nancy Ziobro, Investigation of Preschool Teachers' Perceptions, Understandings, and Practices Related to Resilience Pedagogy, a Qualitative Single Case Study, headed by Dr. Joanne Manning. Diane Laverty, Development of Graduate Health Science Students' Clinical Reasoning, a Qualitative Study, hooded by Dr. Carol Thompson. Andrew Robert Piotrowski, Catholic School Teachers' Perceptions of Factors Related to Low Mathematics Achievement, a Qualitative Case Study, hooded by Dr. Carol Thompson. Sharon Badinger Schofield, a qualitative case study on delegation of school nursing, school nurses, teachers, and paraprofessionals' perspectives, hooded by Dr. Carol Thompson. Sandra Varinsky, exploring teachers' self-efficacy about technology use in learning design and student performance in mathematics, a qualitative study about math anxiety, hooded by Dr. Carol Thompson. Laura Elizabeth Godleski, examining the relationship between teacher leadership, perception, and professional learning community engagement, a mixed methods approach, hooded by Dr. Lisa Vernon Dodson. Matthew Mazzoni, a principal striving for effective instructional leadership in an era of accountability, hooded by Dr. Lisa Vernon Dodson. Carolyn Dunnell, Out and Queer, Independent School Teachers Navigating the Personal and Professional, hooded by Dr. Mary Beth Walpole. Mary Patricia Torres Maciolek, Dietetics Students' Lived Experience with Preceptors, a Phenomenology. Her dissertation chair was Kathleen Krabeel, but she's being hooded by Dr. Mary Beth Walpole. Nicole Milan Tyner, The Impact of Race, Gender, and Class on Career Development, Perceptions of African American Women, hooded by Dr. Mary Beth Walpole. Celeste Nolan, Perceptions of Teachers Who Engage in Social Media Networking, a Multiple Case Study, hooded by Dr. Mary Beth Walpole. Natalie Moore Bimbury, Cultural Humility, a Qualitative Study on the Development of Self-Awareness in Social Work Educators, hooded by Dr. Mary Beth Walpole. Fidel Wilson, Taking the Initiative, Exploring the Usefulness of Faculty-Student Interaction Strategies Based on Validation Theory, hooded by Dr. Mary Beth Walpole. Marisol Perez, Educators' Perspectives on School-Family Involvement within the Context of a PAT Structure, a Qualitative Case Study, hooded by Dr. Beth Wassel. Tara Santinello, Active Parental Involvement in College and Career Readiness, a Qualitative Study, hooded by Dr. Barbara Bowl Williams.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mary Beth Walpole, Professor and Chair in Ed Services and Leadership. I now ask the graduates of the Ed Specialist and School Psychology degree programs to come forward. This program requires 40 semester hours beyond the master's degree in graduate study. Dr. Barbara Bowl Williams is the coordinator of the Ed Specialist degree. Carly Pinheiro. Melanie Brzezinski. Alicia Clendaniel. Tara Hefner. Anthony Rizzo. Rachel Hartnett. Cree Brooks. Paris Newsom. Leslie Holt. Ryan Gentek. Dana Lynn Kilroy. Jessica Rose Johnson. Haley Morales. Brittany Ballard. Alexandra Pensiero. Christine Simone. Carrie Trovarelli, sorry. Alexis Stavros. Alexandra Shea. Juan Lorenzo. I'm going too fast anyway. Renee Salter. Shauna Lynn Mulford. Fenice Chapman Walker. Fatine Killick. We will now start the College of Education master's degree programs. The Master of Arts in Counseling and Edge Settings is first. Dr. Hector Rios is the program coordinator. David Greger. David Bittner. Kelly Tripler Goldstein. Stacy Lynn Burrell. Hannah Bartholomew. Brittany Sharman. Brittany Cairns. Alexandria Santos. What's your name? Jessica Tracy. Cassandra Jones. Holly Fisher. Danielle Jemrick. Dana Gorzinski. Ashley Nicole Rodriguez. Jessica Tourtou. Rachel Passarella. Ryan Thilo. Sorry. Aaliyah Miller Bruce. Angelica Velasquez. Roxanne Bolslawski. Gianni Nichelle Brooks. Erica Figueroa. Tevin King. Catherine Bonanno. Yes. Yenny Gomez. Flora Rulli. Next, we have the Master of Arts in Higher Education. Dr. Bert Sisko is the program coordinator. Taryn Cooper. Amanda Tessler. Charles Ozuna. Diamond Bolden. Desiree Gould. Michael Orokus. Tara Wees. Lacey Murphy. Marissa Porter. Caitlin Shaganaw. Mariah Francisco. Carly Samuels. Sanaz Shahi. Marissa Israel. Sharisa Burgos. Samira Philadelphia Burris. Alicia DeBose. Next, we have the Master of Arts in Reading Education. Dr. Valerie Lee is the program coordinator. Allison Weatherwalks. Jennifer Lorenzo. Lindsay Finkelstein. Felicia Margolano. Heather Pence. Casey Stevens. Katie Martin. Getting backed up down there a little bit. Stephanie Bradfield Smith. Heather Jersey. Jennifer Natali. Michelle Cohen. Elizabeth Procida. Jennifer Roselli. Laura Berry. Catherine McGowan. Vanessa Gottesfeld. Deirdre Glynn Riley. Lorraine Drinkhouse. Next, we have the Master of Arts in School Administration. Dr. Mark Ravitz is the faculty liaison. Jennifer Varelli. Ashley Braskett. Dana Lynn Hendricks. Stephen Hunter Timko. Syra Nizam. Carolyn Hewins. Megan Haran. Irene Clayton. Justin Dickerman. Amy Masso Ferrer. Matthew McGuire. Ross Gary. Lisa Marie Fuchs. Thomas McCafferty. Lisa Barrett. Allie DeTola. Kelsey Eddie Ward. Kristen Brusha. Danielle Lehman. Sharon Sanders. Kristen Ambrose. Brittany Preston. Gregory Eiding. Allison Thompson. Shetra Flores. Rachel Anderson. And now we have the Master of Arts in School Psychology. Dr. Barbara Bowl Williams is the program coordinator. Kayla Kushner. Rebecca Carter. Taylor Marie Arney. Ashley Albert. And now we have the Master of Arts in Special Education. Dr. Jay Cooter is the program coordinator. Kelly Sarnelsi. Margaret Tibbett. Danielle Elise Cabasa. Leah Feldman Hand. Jennifer Majewski. Catherine Reganese. Heather Lynn McDermott. Mona L. Morrow. Lauren DiVittorio. Jennifer Bishop. And next we have the Master of Arts in STEM Education. Dr. Isam Abi El-Mona is the program coordinator. Robert Brennan. Michaela Fiorucci. Thomas Herrera. Brittany John. Nanye Udotan. And next we have the Master of Education in Teacher Leadership. Dr. Lisa Vernon Dotson is the program coordinator. Lori Garrison. Dora Shawterma. Priscilla Antuna. Ariel Wetzel. Samantha Shoemaker. Alexandra Marcini. Carmel de Guzman. Samantha Reed.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Beth Wassel, Professor and Chair of the Department of Language, Literacy, and Sociocultural Education. And now to the graduates from our bachelor's degree programs. Early Childhood Education, Dr. Amy Nasco, Program Coordinator. Samantha Jaworski. Colleen May Dilger. Stephanie Klingler. Imani Presley. Julia McHale. Nicole Velez. Michelle Trimnell. Caitlin Bolkar. Macy Lynn Pollock. Megan Nicole Ondo. Christine Louise McCabe. Gabrielle Costa. Tiffany Mason. Jessica Muschetti. Christina Marie Elko. Brittany Busilo. Kylie Elizabeth Sposato. Mackenzie Jean Tyler. Carrie Elizabeth Walsh. Shannon Cahill. Valerie Feldman. Kirsten Krall. Cassandra Macari. Jessica Nicole Cagno. Robin Case. Megan Howells. Courtney Chris. Victoria Rying. Morgan Taylor Smith. Jamie Wagner. Victoria Gemke. Melissa Marucci. Kathleen Allberger. Catherine Bridget Jensen. Caitlin Kubler. Corinne Elizabeth Almeida. Melissa Musimi. Alexandra DeGaris. Alexandria Anderson Chu. Jordan Economos. Michaela Marie Dunn. Morgan Petroza. Katrina Schindler. The bachelor's degree in elementary education, program coordinator, Dr. Corey Meredith Brown. Teresa Fiersack. Amanda Cordero. Laura Graziano. Michelle Borghese. Lila Kelly. Chelsea Erlin. Chelsea McVicker. Ava DiGiulio. Brianna Monet Henderson. Christina Castante. Caitlin Rodia. Ariana Cecil. Alyssa Fazio. Jason Todd Kellum. Stephen Della Quila. Charles DeChico. Corinne Struby. Lori Doyle. Bethany Dowling. Anthony Arthur Korma III. Alessandra Lucci. Kelly Davis. Courtney Villick. Amber Kolazinski. Jacqueline Fleming. Julia Mowdy. Ciarla Rubertoni. Madison Michaela Dowd. Amanda Wright. Felicia Grabowski. Jenna Smith. Michaela Baldassari. Alexis Knopp. Melissa Houghton. Rachel Shanto. Emily Ann Hupfel. Natalie Ostrowski. Danielle Giannatasio. Jessica Molinaro. Daniela Molinaro. Sabrina Brookolari. Annalisa Pearl Lanzalotti. Kathleen Morgan Golden. Hannah Waxman. Ashley Hayden. Rachel Knight. Jessica Ryan. Caitlin Sylvia. Mia Talone. Lindsay Toomer. Nicole Hartman. Amanda Yost. Amanda Spagnolo. Elisa Yvonne Marrero. Kathleen Tropello. Christina Basso. Tara Miller. Marion Marone. Jennifer Rivera. Carrie Smith. Patricia Moore. Gianna Lombardi. Noelle Hahn. Michelle Kemmerly. Kayvon Aslambolchi. Caitlin Young. Heather Allen. Colette Powell. Kelly Murphy. Nikki Zammer. Amanda Paroli. Bria Smith. Miranda Myers. Nicole Edie. Allison Prettyman. Amy Early. Patricia Matias Cruz. Jennifer Fagan. Marissa Sanders. Daniel Owen. Zachary Schwint. Nicole Becker. Danielle Forby. Brenna Evans. Crystal Merrigan. Jenna Hill. Jessica Ruchowski. Sarah Henthorn. Rosa Strahl. Mallory Griffin. Isabella McCarrow. Juliana Costa. Carly Ann Thomas. Anna Gunther. Nicole Tedeschi. Alexandria Nina Martin. Shannon Elizabeth Casey. Catherine Walsh. Gabrielle Principato. Breege Sullivan. Kelly Rasmussen. Caitlin Kilgallen. Jessica Soma. Bachelor's degree in Literacy Studies, Program Coordinator, Professor Robert Eisberg. Lauren Ernst. Bachelor's degree in Subject Matter Education, Program Coordinators, English, Social Studies, and World Languages, Dr. Raymond Foley. Science and Math, Dr. Maya Wade. Art, Professor Jean Neglia. And Music, Dr. Adrian Barnes. Desiree Giaconetti. Carmela Saggio. Jessica Strope. Olivia Panebianco. Jacqueline Miller. Ashley Nichols. Jessica Rathgeb. Kyle Boshaman. Rosalia Nanfara. Catherine Brown. Erin Anderson. Kenneth Beiruti. Sarah Chamberlain. Brett Sigmund. Douglas Connolly. Nicholas McCliernan. Matthew Gould. Michael Voles. Joseph Bittman. Will Mullins. Rena Amoroso. Kelly Start. Leo Edward Warner III. Sydney Kraus. Jillian Jacoby. Rocco Mazzo. Brandy Fisher. Robert Grilly. Kevin Rival. Daniel Cheeseman. Sarah Snuffin. Victoria Shimentia. AJ Ogolia Marias. Jacqueline Pitt. Jasmine Marie Burgos.
Congratulations, class of 2018. Let's hear it one more time. This is the one day of the year where we celebrate the wonderful accomplishments of all of you. It is the best day of the year for me as your dean. Thank you for attending today's ceremony, and congratulations to all of you students. The audience is requested to remain in place until the platform party has recessed. Shuttles to the parking lots are available for those who need them, and parking lot R at the back of the green. Golf carts for guests with special needs are available in parking lot Y, next to the baseball field or in front of Bowl Hall. Will everyone please rise for the alma mater and remain standing for the recessional?
stayed too long. Now I'm wondering if your love's still strong. Oh, baby, here I am, signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours. Oh, yeah. Then that time I went and said goodbye. Now I'm back and not ashamed to cry. Oh, baby, here I am, signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours. I'm yours. Say, here I am, baby. Oh, signed, sealed, in your hands, baby. Here I am, baby. Oh, I'm yours, baby. I've done a lot of foolish things that I really didn't mean. I can be a broken man. Seen a lot of things in this old world. When I touch them, they may nothing go. Oh, baby, here I am, signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours. Yeah. Oh, well, baby, you set my soul on fire. That's why I know you're my one and only desire. Oh, baby, here I am, signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours. Oh, here I am, baby. Oh, got the picture in your hands, baby. Here I am, baby. Oh, got the picture in your hands, baby. I did a lot of foolish things that I really didn't mean. I can be a broken man.